Hi ho everybody and welcome to Good Kingdom Compass TV, the show where we talk about shows all around the streaming services amongst the internet. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Griffin D-Pad, and with me as always the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing?
I'm tired
Or after the holidays, man.
all the time.
I'm impressed we're here. We got
You,
on these.
you asked me to stick with an 8-episode show, and I was able to do it for you. So you're welcome.
I am impressed that we actually were able to do this, and we're doing this fairly on time for us.
The holidays throw a wrench in everything.
Look, if you're going to release something 2 days before Christmas, you can expect us to talk about
You're
it
gonna have to
after
wait.
Christmas.
Yeah.
And I have been itching to talk about this finale in these last few episodes of the Mighty Nein, Mitch, because God, what a show. Of course, folks, we are talking about a couple of different shows right now. This being our last episode for talking about the Mighty Nein. We're also currently talking about Percy Jackson and the Olympians Season 2, which we will be getting to that episode shortly as well, going through the last few because it was just the holidays. So we kind of take a little bit of a break. I'm literally stepping away from the camera and the computer and being with family and whatnot.
Same.
Thank you for bearing with us. But yeah, we have already recorded our first episode talking about the first 5 episodes. You can check that out now if you haven't. We are going to talk today about episodes 6, 7, and 8, Many Gifts, Belonging, and the Zadash Job. Before we jump into that, though, and I really do want to jump into that, a little bit of housekeeping for y'all. As I mentioned, we got the 2 episodes going right now. Percy will be coming later. Make sure also to go check out our shorts, whether that be over on TikTok or here on YouTube, to catch up on whatever is happening in the parks at this moment. I might be going and filming more of that tomorrow, and I'm excited.
I'm not jealous at all. It's fine. Fine. Just keep rubbing salt in the wound. It's fine.
And I think that's normally I just drop in the housekeeping because normally I have a bunch of different things to point out, but I don't think I have anything. Actually,
It's a new year. There's less on the docket. It's fine. We'll figure out what the next episode of the proper show ends up being.
I think I know just because they keep putting out goddamn teasers for it.
I mean, yeah, I know they put out the teaser for Wonder Man, but still,
that's going to be this show.
No, I know.
No,
You're thinking of doing a full trailer breakdown of all these teasers for Avengers Doomsday.
We're on number 3 now at this point, and it's just getting ridiculous at this point.
Have they officially released the third one?
No,
right?
We'll talk about it.
Well, yeah. Because I was gonna say I've only seen 2. I've been avoiding the leaks.
Now, Mitch, to bring us back in to talk about why we're here today, of course, Critical Role. I love it. You are now being indoctrinated. Welcome.
Against my own free will, but it's fine. It's fine.
We have a whole bit on this in the last episode. Go watch it. We are at the end of the season now. Mitch, what did you think of these last 3 episodes, and what do you think as a whole about season 1 of the Mighty Nein?
I really like the episode length. I do like that they've gone here from roughly 22 minutes in Vox Machina up to 44. I think there's a lot more content here. It has meant for a couple of these that I've, fallen asleep halfway through an episode and had to restart it, but that's more on me than a critique of the show. I love the amount of character depth we're getting, especially the story between Jester and Ford. That's my favorite relationship of the show so far. Especially, for me having a background in playing D&D, anytime there's a warlock involved and a pact and all of these things, it's just really interesting to me. The idea of a deal with the devil, so to speak. So Ford's story is really, really speaking to me. I thought the season ended on a bit of a weird note. It didn't feel like things resolved the way that I would have liked to have seen them resolved. I feel like we could have had another 2 or 3 episodes to some larger conflict resolution, whatever it might be, especially just getting introduced to Ashley Johnson's character her character finding the party at the end of the last episode. I thought was an odd way to end the season. But all in all, I'm excited to see more of this story as it comes to screen.
Yeah, I think for me, I've seen the whole campaign, so I know the big beats.
You know where we're going.
I'm very happy with this because it gave me a lot of surprises. Everything they did with the gentleman, I'm so happy about.
You can't go wrong when you have Nathan Fillion playing literally any role.
Nathan Fillion was just not who I like. They released the cast before coming out, and there's a lot of speculation on who was playing who. and Nathan Fillion just was not on my list for the gentleman. Um, if I had to guess, and I probably still would have guessed this way, I thought for sure it was going to be Rahul Kohli. Um, but he does such a good job
More
in
of
this.
like the vagrant ne'er do well type presentation. But I do think that Nathan Fillion did a good job of capturing that
He is
same vibe.
perfect. He genuinely it is always how I've imagined this character. And that's what a lot of this comes down to. Is this is always how I imagine some of these things. They've continued to make my favorite character being Molly. I mean, I've always loved Molly. He is always been one of my favorites. Jester's also always been one of my favorites. I like tieflings.
Fair.
And it's just so good. So much of this though was brand new. So much of these 3 episodes was brand new stuff that I really loved. We got a little bit more into Molly's backstory. We got some more stuff with Essek that I really, really love. Stuff we've never gotten to see before. That really shows you why Essek is such a tragic character. I really love how this ended, and this ended actually about where I expected season 1 to end. Season 1 is a part 1 in a million ways, right? Like, I think something I kind of was realizing as we were getting ready for this is episodes 1 through 5 are a lot of setup.
It's a lot of backstory, or what I would call, like in D&D vernacular, a lot of that is session 0 content. In that is where the characters are being brought together, the party is forming, they're coming up with their quest, etc. And I honestly, like, everything up to the stuff with the gentleman and them having this heist to conduct does very much feel like, all right, this is the party's first real main quest.
Yeah, I mean, for reference for anyone who hasn't, the campaign starts at the circus. The circus is where everything begins. So those first couple episodes are all brand new for us. A little bit we've seen in some of the comic books, but I'm getting nitpicky at that point. Getting into this being the gang's first real mission, right? Seeing the first couple of real missions here, getting so much more lore for Exandria than I was expecting. Seeing Nidus, for instance, was just not something I expected. We keep getting references to Critical Role's Calamity campaign, whether that be in being Xerxes in The Legend of Vox Machina, now Nidus. It makes me wonder where the others are going to pop up. Calamity is a fantastic campaign. If you haven't seen it, I think it's only like 4 episodes. Getting his soul situation, getting Vess. Vestaragna is such a character that I consistently forget she's evil. Vess is a fantastic character in the campaign, and I really love that we're like jumping right into her backstory with Lucian in this, in a way that I'm not sure if it makes total sense. Mitch, you'll have to tell me if it makes
Not in the
any
slightest,
sense.
but I'm starting to piece it together a little bit by little bit. But there's definitely still a lot of, like, it is making sense, but also, like, I know there's more to this tale to tell. Like, at least, so as a newcomer to this campaign, what I'm getting a sense that, especially with like the red eye thing that we get partway through the season, like, Vess has something to do with Molly's backstory, the reason he can't remember anything before the circus or whatever it was. So, like, there's a relationship there, especially, I can't remember the name that she uses, but she uses a different name for him. And there's a couple instances where Molly's referred to by a different name. So it makes me think that there's some sort of like reincarnation thing going on or something to that extent, and that she was a critical part of that. So I'm curious to see more of that as we get into future seasons of the show.
Yeah, Lucian.
You're laughing, so I feel like I'm close, but off by quite a margin.
I'm laughing because she played a critical part in it, and the bit is right there.
Okay, that wasn't intentional, because I'm not one of you critter creatures, whatever.
Critters. We are critters.
Yeah, I'm just mucking around.
Now, Lucian and the Donegan are very interesting stories, and I do not expect any of that to be. I didn't expect any of that, frankly, in this first season. I expected Kree. I'm very happy we got Kree in this. Very, very excited as well to see that Kree voiced by Felicia Day. and all of that. But I wasn't expecting us to get this much because for me, Lucian and Molly's backstory is always very much endgame. Um, there's multiple story arcs that I could see them doing throughout the show. I could see them doing about 4 seasons total, and that for me would be like a season 3 thing, or to start it in season 3, I would say. Um, that said, who really knows? They could go as for as long or as short with this as they want. Um, but yeah, I wasn't expecting us to get that much of it. Um, talking about other individual characters' backstories, another thing I wasn't expecting was the orb with Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this man eats orbs. That's kind of really all
Yeah,
you
it's
need to know.
weird. It's real weird.
Warlock shit is weird, man. I love it.
I know, and I love it. I'm all about it.
Um, I was also very much expecting it to be a much more public thing.
I'm glad it's not because I like the idea of warlock packs being much more secretive in nature. Um, just, I mean, the way that I've played warlocks in the past was, it is one of these things you don't want to be overly. The more open you are about those things, the harder it can be to justify some of your actions. We saw some of this similarly with Vax in Vox Machina, where he had his pact with the Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen, yeah. The god.
Yeah, got it. And that was also kept hush hush for a very long time. And then it becomes more open and more accepted by the party. And I feel like we're going to probably follow a similar vein here with Ford. They just haven't really delved too deep into that, pun absolutely intended, in this first season. But I'm curious to see where it goes in future seasons.
I'm so proud of Mitch this episode. So many puns. Doing so well.
I'm a punny guy. What can I say?
What's really interesting to me on those dynamics is that Vax is a paladin. He's not a warlock. He very much goes good with it, and Ford very much does not. Again.
At least not yet.
No future
and not yet.
spoilers.
There's probably a change of heart coming at some point.
No future spoilers is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, fair enough.
Again, it's hard to talk about a thing where it's like I have hundreds.
You know everything?
Yeah, I know all of this. And it just sits in my brain and rattles around randomly every once in a while. I'm getting a Ford tattoo. Like, that is where I'm at.
Yeah.
For a sword that is beautiful. And that's all I will say. But yeah, I loved a lot of this. One of the more amusing reoccurring bits in the original campaign, right, was just that 40 Torbs. Everybody knows this. And then also Ford just can't stop puking salt water.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that we've kept that bit in here. If he just keeps puking up salt water. And I hope we get more of that. And I think we will. Running through things. I think one of the big relationships we've really got to flesh out here that I'm really excited about was Caleb and Bo.
That was neat. Honestly, the thing that I was most surprised by is the reveal of the Traveler.
Oh yeah.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, he's real. He's a god.
Well, not just that he's real, but he's that the satyr dude from Vox Machina. Because at the end of that, he like transforms into the same dude.
I'm glad you caught that. I wasn't sure if you were going to.
I did catch that. I watched these two shows so closely together. It's hard not to catch stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Plus, it kind of took over my TikTok algorithm.
Look, the Traveler is one of those characters. This is Matthew Mercer. There are four main characters in this show, voiced by Matt. And I think all four of them very much needed to be voiced by Matt, and one of those is Traveler. Yeah. Matt and Laura's dynamic between Jester and the Traveler is one of my favorite things the Critical Role has ever done. And I really love how he did it. I love that Jester is still pissed at him.
Yeah, she should be.
Because like this dynamic is not that of like Pike and the Everlight. These two are friends, and one of them just happens to be a god. So getting that is like having all of that together, and then for him to jump off the building and disappear, I was just like, perfect. We saw the gate. That was perfect. This man is fantastic. I love Traveler so much. I say as I literally have sitting next to me a Traveler Con bumper sticker. You'll know what Traveler
Now you
Con is.
just need to put it on your car. And you're never going to put it on your car because you don't want to see it fade or fall off. I know.
Exactly. Also because I'm trying to get a new car. Um,
That fair.
honestly, what I've done with my car mostly is magnets.
Mm.
But I do have a Mighty Nine
It,
sticker on my car.
I mean, it does help when Disney just keeps giving you magnets.
Dude, I have so many. Like on my, not even on my car, on my fridge, I've got like 5. And I haven't even been a pass holder for the whole year, for a whole year.
I mean, you pay what you do. The least they can do is give you some bloody magnets.
Right. But yeah, bringing it back because I want to talk about Caleb and Bo. I love that these fuckers don't trust each other. I love that we're at the end of this season. They still don't trust each other, but they're just kind of begrudgingly dealing with it.
They're coming to grips with the fact that they know they can't trust each other, but they have like they don't trust each other, but they have to coexist.
Dude, that scene with like them getting the arcane compass was so good.
Yeah.
Like that is what I wanted out of the Mighty Nine, because the Mighty Nine at their core, every single one of them are deeply broken individuals.
Oh.
And we are fully seeing that come to light with all of them, and I love that. I mentioned we got a bit more of the Caleb and Bo dynamic, but we also got a bit more of the Jester and Not dynamic.
That was really good. I just love Not as a character. Like Not and Caleb's relationship and how it is, addressed and how the party interprets it in different ways for different people is just, it's such a fun dynamic to play with.
My favorite thing about it is like their relationship is messy as fuck. They take a long time to figure out what their relationship really is, and I love that we're seeing that. I also love that we are showing like just how much Not's alcoholism is hurting the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that they played with a little bit on the table, but I think they're doing a lot more here.
It is far more reasonable with the way that they're having to deal with it as part of this adventure, which I know probably doesn't translate as well to the table, but here it's been wonderfully executed.
I mean, episode 7 is downright heartbreaking, right? When Not smashes the bottle and then starts licking it up off the floor.
Yeah, it's grotesque in a way that it needs to be.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But then I love that leading into like not depressively scaring everybody on the street, and Jester being like, "No, I'm gonna hang out with you because I like you."
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're starting to see some of that progression forward with that because of Jester. And then the vandalism was I'm so happy we got that scene in general. But seeing those two work together, seeing Jester's duplicate, all of that was so good. We also got a little nod to a future character in that scene. Not something I think we will ever see in the campaign again, but one of the characters that they fuck with is a player character in campaign 3.
Okay.
I love everything about this scene. So much fun. So good. Not as fantastic. Sam Riegel is amazing. And I love that this man is still able to do this voice, this horrifyingly grating voice.
Yeah, it's got to be tough on the vocal cords.
Especially after this man had throat cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of that's amazing. I mentioned Molly already. All of that stuff was great. Ford's, all of his stuff is great. Let's talk about Essek. Let's talk about Sad Boy. Sad Boy is also Hot Boy.
Sad Boy is also a dumbass.
Dumbass. He is conniving and he's evil, man.
He is easily manipulated.
Yeah, I think he is. I think we got to see him get to the point where he is the one manipulating now. I'm so happy we got there. Man, that backstabbing of Verrett was rough.
Yeah, that was it wasn't unexpected, but I didn't expect it so soon.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Like it kind of just came out of left field. It was pretty jarring.
I mean, I think for him, right, it's like it is that cascading of events, right? It is Trent betraying him. It is having to kill his own mother, which was to me the most heartbreaking scene in this entire show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Caleb. I love you, man. I love your tragic backstory. This
I still think I lean towards Caleb's story. But yeah, both are pretty gut wrenching.
yeah. I mean, I think that the major difference, right, is that Caleb is on the road to redemption. Essek is
Essek is
not.
not. Essek's still on the downturn.
Yeah. Will he ever get off of it?
If he doesn't, someone's gonna take his head.
Will it be Yasha? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know the first thing about Yasha. We've seen her in like 3 scenes.
Um, but yeah, everything with Essek here was just beautifully heartbreaking. And also just beautiful in general. Some of the magic scenes are so cool. Like it's a horrifying scene, but like when they massacre the Kryn army,
Oh
and
God,
all
yeah.
the souls come out and into the beacon. That was one of the coolest scenes I've seen in the entire show.
Super fucked up, but yeah, I agree.
And then the entire magic fight at the end of this, right, was like, I see where the budget went. Of let's have one of the coolest magic fight scenes I've seen in animation to date.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, oh, okay, that's why we're only getting 8 episodes.
yeah, they did like, I think like last week they did like this like binge-a-thon where they tweeted out a bunch of stuff while people were watching it. It did like a composite version of it versus the actual version of it, and it's very fun to see some of that stuff. Like this show genuinely is pure art to me of how good some of this looks, and I love the magic so much.
Oh, it's really cool. I really like what they've done here in differing the way magic is presented here versus traditional D&D 5th edition. It's been really cool to see.
Yeah, I think this one, especially like I mentioned for Essek, is very fun. I want to end on Yasha because I want to know where you think it's gonna go. But before that,
I don't have a fucking clue.
wanna
That's all
hit-
I got for you. I have no idea.
I want to hit a couple other characters before I touch on that. And that is Mitch. You've been introduced now to one of the greatest characters to ever come out of the Mighty Nein campaign, and that is my boy and his homies, Pumat Sol. He is the best. We love him to death.
He's fine. Like
I love
I'm sure it'll get to be that way, but I haven't seen enough of them to pass judgment at this point.
It's Pumat became a recurring bit where like anytime the Mighty Nein interacted with anyone, they're like, "We need to introduce you to this man because we love him."
Ah, I see. Okay.
I just love that he has his simulacrums, his magically manifested duplicates. They're just fun. That entire scene with them and Frumpkin was great.
I mean, I'm also just I'm partial to furbolgs because I played one in a campaign and it was really fun. So like anytime they pop, I'm like, hey, I understand that reference.
Unfortunately, realistically, I think Pumat is one of those things where a lot of that stuff's going to get cut because it's the shopping episode, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
They had a point there where it's like they came back to the shop, Not requests her flask. Jester gets her her pouch. And there's some really great interactions there we got in the campaign that we're just not going to get in the show because it takes too much time.
Yeah. You don't have a shopping episode of a series. You have a shopping episode in D&D. It is very much a D&D construct.
One of the other interesting things for me in this, and this is Griffin getting into the kind of nitty gritty from the campaign, is seeing the sword hilt, the random sword hilt on the wall. Knowing, because that leads to that sword hilt is originally purchased in on the Menagerie Coast, back where Jester and Ford started.
Okay.
In the campaign, so I'm wondering how that's going to lead into things because I know that that's an interesting story beat from the campaigns. Again, they could pull almost nothing from the campaign going forward. They could pull everything from the campaign going forward.
I think that's what's most interesting to me about this show, especially you coming into this as a fan of the source material, is just what they've changed. Because for me, coming in with nothing, I'm having a great time. I think the story is cohesive. It's flowing in a good way. Like I said, I feel like it ended abruptly for a season one, but I do know like they're already well into production of season two. I wouldn't be surprised if season two is something we see next summer or next. We're already in the new year. God, that's going to take a while to get used to. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it, in the next 6 to 8 months, as opposed to it being a full calendar year, just because it seems like production of this was very much will flow right from one into the next.
So the rumor is that it is going to be winter,
Okay.
2026, because we're also getting a new season of The Legend of Vox Machina this year.
Fair.
Um, but yeah, yeah, those little changes and those little references are always what gets me. Like, there's that. There's a I'm just gonna say things. Mitch, you're just gonna have to accept them. There's a Henry Crabgrass reference in this that is absolutely adorable. We got a book all about Scanlan Shorthalt, replacing the
Oh,
book from the campaign that was all about Tyrion Darrington, which was
that's a
fantastic.
name.
It's a name you'll know in the next season of Vox Machina.
Okay.
Oh, and he's played by someone like they got someone huge to play Terry as well. Yeah, they got Wayne Brady to play Terry.
Oh, I like Wayne Brady.
Um, yeah, there's so many little references in Puma's shop, and like, of course, that's the place where you're gonna throw all the references. It's the magic shop.
Yeah.
We also got a reference out of the Chroma Conclave, which I was not expecting.
I did catch that. That was funny.
It was like what, the Colorful Collective or something like that.
Yeah, some color collective or something to that extent.
I think they've just done such a fantastic job with all of this. Bringing in all those little bits and pieces from all across Critical Role. Again, shout out Calamity. Dyron was fantastic in this. Everything Solstice Academy. We got Tracy. I was not expecting the Tracy bit to continue on into the animated series, but here we are. Marissa Ray, you continue to be amazing. Yeah, all of this was fantastic. I think that finale was one of the best finales I've seen in a while. I think it does a really good job of kind of wrapping up a couple things, but ultimately getting me excited for another season.
For someone newer to the material, I feel like it left more questions open than it closed, which, to each their own. I would have preferred to have seen more wrapped up, but obviously, they have a purpose to that storytelling motif and how it's going to carry into subsequent seasons. So I'm down to see more.
For me, this is a story that you can't. This was always a story you couldn't tell in a single season. So
Oh, of
I
course,
knew
of
this.
course.
I had rough ideas of where this was going to end. It was either this or one other very specific moment. It was just a matter of how quickly were they going to get through things. And so once I realized where we were at, and it was like episode 4, and we still hadn't gotten to Zadash, I was like, okay, I know where this is going to end.
Yeah.
And I think my guess is that this would be this story is either a 2 or a 3 season story.
I'm curious what more they can put in there, though. Like, I do think that there's more that they can explore in animation than would necessarily be able to be explored as part of a D&D campaign. I could see this being something where they fill in more backstory, or they create tangents that we didn't know were there in part of the world outside of what was told as part of the core story, especially with some of the changes they've made from the campaign to the show. I could very easily see it being something where they elaborate more on smaller parts. Like you were surprised, oh, this is going to end with, or not surprised, but you got a sense of where this was going to end. They could do something very similar in the next season where maybe they explore more backstory for characters that we didn't get as part of the campaign, and it ends somewhere earlier than you would originally anticipated. And it could be a 4 or 5 season thing similar to Vox Machina.
Yeah, what I think is going to end up happening is, and mind you, this is all conjecture, but is that this is a 3 season story. I think season 2, right? I think we're going to get a lot more into Yasha, which I'm very excited about. I think we saw a little bit here with the voice in her head, who is credited, so I will just say his name, Oban. We saw a little bit with her wife. We know that she's the oath breaker, or the orphan maker.
Yeah.
And I think Yasha in general is one of the most tragic characters on the Mighty Nine. And I really can't wait to see that in action. What's interesting about Yasha's story is that it kind of had to be really spaced out because at the time, during the actual campaign, Ashley was still working on a show that she had to run off and film for, so Yasha wasn't always there and around, which is kind of why they have her have a specific story in that. I think we're going to get a lot more of that in season 2, and I could see them folding that into this Beacon storyline now that the Mighty Nine has the Beacon. And I can see them doing that, having a little bit more of Caleb and Bo's stories here. How is the Beacon going to affect things with Fort and his patron? There's a lot of stuff that you can play with there. And I can see that ending in... If you have seen the campaign, you know the moment that I'm thinking of. It is one of the biggest moments in the show. Where everything gets flipped on its head. And I think that would make a fantastic season finale. That said, if you don't know what I'm talking about,
not a clue.
Do not Google it. Do not look it up. Do not look into anything because the reveal in the show is going to be fantastic.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how this show's turned out. Right, I think everything is so quality in this in a way that at this point I kind of just come to expect from Critical Role. Like they put out the work that they do with Titmouse is so beautiful every time. And I cannot wait for more of this, more of The Legend of Vox Machina. Just fantastic work. Give me more, please.
Yeah.
With that, though, I feel like we've hit everything. Unless there's any moments in the last 3 episodes you want to talk about that I passed over.
Nothing you haven't already touched on.
All right. In that case, I feel like we got to wrap this up. We will be back when season 2 eventually drops.
You're going to make me watch more of this. All right. That's fine.
Oh, because you weren't going to watch more of this regardless.
I was 100% going to watch more of this.
We'll be back for more of this. Maybe I'll convince Mitch to come back for Legends of Vox Machina.
No. I'm all in at this point, at least on the animation side. It's hard to consume D&D content via podcast or YouTube or whatever it is because it's just there's so much content.
Oh yeah, I'm already behind on campaign 4 and we're like 10 episodes in.
Yeah.
Of course, folks, keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the other shows we're doing. Of course, if you're watching Percy Jackson, we are doing episode by episode reviews for that as well. Our latest episode coming shortly. Check out all of that stuff. We will be there for you with the next episode of whatever. But until then, be good to each other and have a magical day.